Last week I uploaded a video where I gave starter Pokemon a Paradox form. This video did extremely well and it seems you guys enjoyed it pretty much. This was probably one of the most fun challenges I've done in a while, so I decided to take a shot at 5 other starters. Will these drawings be better than the 5 we made last week? I'll let you be the judge of that. Our first stop is a past form of Trico. We did use the tracing method again in order to stay close to the original design, just like we did in last video. For this design I tried to make Trico a lot more pointier and sort of hairier as well, and I gave him claws and teeth to make him look more feral. One of my viewers suggested that we stuck his tongue out as well, which was a perfect idea, and it opened up the possibility to make him a poison type. Even though I really love making Paradox starters, I do find it annoying that I can't use other colors than the original art pieces. Some of these Pokemon would look so much better with a different color palette, but sadly to follow the Paradox rules, you actually have to use the same colors. At least for this piece we were able to add a little bit of purple to it, and we made the original colors just a tiny bit darker. Furious Gecko, the Paradox Pokemon. Despite its small size, this Pokemon terrorized the jungle over 15 million years ago. We have no clue where it came from, but it appears to be a far back relative from Trico. Even though these species may look like each other, this variant is actually way more dangerous. One bite from this creature is powerful enough to take down an entire herd of Tauros. I am really happy with this design. I think it stays very close to a Trico, but adding the tongue added so much to the design. It really looks like an old version of Trico, which I'm very happy with. Well, I'm not sure, but this might be my favorite design so far. Our second target was a future form of Piplup. Making a future form isn't necessarily difficult. You don't really change a lot. You mostly keep the design the same and then just detach some of its body parts and add some rubber patches as well. My biggest struggle for this piece was to decide on which color would be the lava lamp kind of feel. I eventually settled on the yellow parts, but when I was done with the piece, I wasn't really happy with it. Luckily, when I was working on another future form, I discovered that Iron Hood actually had some shading in the lava lamp as well. This brought me back to all my future forms and I fixed them. Man, who would know that the future me would actually fix a future form? Iron Pengu, the Paradox Pokemon. This red creature can be heard from miles away. It appears to make sonar sounds, somewhat similar to this. Noot noot. It also doesn't like to be taken care of. It's very difficult to bond with, since it won't listen to its trainer, even though it might be hard to control. It is very much sought after because of its incredible power. At first, when I finished this piece, I was not happy with it at all. Luckily, I did manage to fix it with the added highlights. I think it's a very cute design. And like I've said before, the shinies of iron forms actually grew on me quite a lot. Look at that cute little robot penguin. Our third Pokemon is a past form of Totodile. For this drawing, we didn't change a lot. I did extend his eyebrow a bit, gave him a lot more spikes, made his tail a little bit bigger, and gave him bigger teeth. I really feel like I just described the Paradox Pokemon. I feel like some people aren't gonna agree with me on this one, but changing a lot for Paradox Pokemon isn't the way you should do it. Of course, it might be a better and cooler design if you did change a lot, but I am trying to stay close to the rules laid out by Pokemon itself. Even though we did have some very different Paradox Pokemon, mostly Walking Wake, I do feel like that's because he's a legendary. The rest of the past forms mostly just have bigger teeth, hair, or any other kind of element on their design. Razor Jaws, the Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon was an apex predator from 20 million years ago. There have been findings of their teeth that look surprisingly new. There seem to be quite a lot of sightings from very weird looking and aggressive Totodile. We believe this is a very ancient form of Totodile with a unique typing and a lot more strength. If you happen to encounter one of these, please make sure to run. I think only big Totodile fans will instantly notice all the differences. They might not look like much, but when you compare them side by side, there are actually big differences between the two. I think the shiny for this piece looks incredible as well, and I'm actually very happy with the end result. Last episode I told you we were getting close to the 1600 subscribers mark. We did get there. Can we go to 1700 on this one? Up next was the future form for Fennekin. Some of these future designs are really easy to pull off. I'm talking about the black part on their faces. For this piece, not so much. I had to improvise which part would be the black around the eyes, and since Fennekin doesn't have one, I just decided to make a little mask-like thing. The rest of the design was actually pretty easy. I knew from the start I was going to pull out the ear thingies and give them the lava lamp kind of feel. Man, I really need a different word for that. The colors just stay the same on these things, but the shiny really makes it look better. Iron Fox, the Paradox Pokemon. This unruly looking creature keeps popping up more and more lately. It does appear to be friendly, but it can be very intimidating if he doesn't like you. Our tests so far show that their ears are capable of producing immense amount of heat. Combined with the psychic power from their eyes, they are a truly powerful foe. What I love about this design is that it's very simple, yet effective. It really does look like a robot, even though we didn't change much. I do still think that I prefer past forms over future ones, but the future ones are really starting to grow on me. Our final Paradox form will be a past form of Sprigatito. This design took me quite a bit of fiddling to come up with something that looks nice. At the start I experimented with a big flower on his head, but that didn't look right to me. I eventually settled on a mane, and someone in my chat suggested to make it a grass electric type. I found this a very cool idea, and it gave me a new direction for this form. Electric types usually have a lot of sharply pointed features. I do feel like grass types are a bit more round shaped, so I want to combine these two. I think I've done a pretty good job on this sketch. For the colors I decided to go with a bit darker tint of green, to make him look a bit more experienced. This was another moment I found the Paradox rules pretty annoying, because I do feel like the shiny of Sprigatito should be way better, but I did still have to use the bad regular shiny colors. Stinky. Thundering Fangs, the Paradox Pokemon. This creature is said to be able to eat an entire school of fish Pokemon in one sitting. It uses its powerful electric fangs to stun the school and can then easily devour them. The fur of this Pokemon may look like it's rough, but it's actually very soft. Thundering Fangs is a very loyal Pokemon and will defend its trainer without hesitation. I think this Pokemon might come close to a perfect Paradox design. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the best drawing ever, because it could definitely improve on some points, but the concept is something I could really see in the games. I would love to see what this thing looks like when it evolves. Maybe I'll have to make a video about that one day. I do not know if these designs are better than the ones we made last week. Let me know which designs were better, or which designs from last week are still goated. I have planned to do all the starters, because I think this challenge is amazing. Let me know if you'd like me to evolve them as well, or maybe only your favorites. Goodbye!